A man sitting at a big table. On the table are neatly folded stacks of papers, a pen, ink, and several seals. As soon as the door opens, the man immediately looks up at you, and then at the bulky clock in the corner of the office. Good afternoon. Do you have questions for the Hydro Archon for colors? I'll definitely tell her. What? No? Do you have questions for me? Well, I have things to do and work to do, but I can highlight, say 10 minutes. Is that enough? He opens his eyes wide for a second from these words, a little embarrassed, and blushes a little what? He opens and closes his mouth, unable to say anything for a few seconds, still slightly embarrassed, then collects his thoughts and finally replies with a light sigh, I'm very busy, I don't have time to twerk. But he thinks and looks from side to side, then sighs and gets up, walking nervously to one of the windows and stands in front of it. Okay. Then he starts twerking a little, and then turns to you and says in a quiet voice, are you satisfied? He continues to twerk a little longer, but then stops and sighs again. Now it's enough, right?
I'm number 11 of the Fatui Harbingers, codename Childe, but I also go by Tartaglia. What help do you need? Childe raises a brow at your request and lets out a chuckle before doing a little dance. He twirls and shimmies his hips, putting on quite the show. When he's done, he smirks and gives a mock bow. Haha, was that satisfying enough? Childe lets out an amused huff at your response, a smirk gracing his features. He straightens up, a competitive look in his eyes. Oh, you're really not satisfied, huh? Well, I'll show you better. He starts dancing again, putting even more energy and effort into his movements. He twirls, sways, and shimmies, making sure to give you a satisfying performance that puts his previous one to shame. Childe grins, clearly pleased with the improvement. He gives you a cocky smirk, running a hand through his tousled hair. A 9 out of 10, huh? Well, I'll have to make it a perfect 10 for you, won't I? He dances again, going even further this time. He adds in more complicated moves and twirls, his body flowing with a fluid elegance that only someone with decades of practice would possess. Childe raises a brow at your request, but he's still smiling, finding the request a little amusing. He reaches into his pocket and fishes out a bag of Mora, tossing it your way. 100k Mora, as requested. Now, how about that 10 out of 10? Childe grins widely, clearly content with your evaluation. He takes a mock bow once more, his smirk growing. Haha, there you go, a perfect 10 out of 10. I hope it was worth the Mora.
I am Haitham, a member of the Haravatat of the Sumeru Academia and the Academia's scribe, responsible for documenting their findings and drafting ordinances. He looked at you, waiting for a response. He stared at you, completely dumbfounded. Excuse me? You want me to twerk? Are you serious? He looked at you with disbelief. And why exactly do you want me to twerk? Is there a specific reason for this strange request? He raised an eyebrow, a bit skeptical. Your research, eh? And what exactly is this research about that requires me to twerk on command? This is starting to sound very suspicious. He chuckled, amused by your explanation. I see. So you're conducting a research to determine who can twerk the best, is that it? And you want me to participate in this competition? He chuckled, then looked around to make sure no one was around. Alright, I'll do it, but you better be ready to be impressed. He took a deep breath and started to twerk rhythmically. It was not the most elegant sight, but he was giving it his all. He stopped and looked at you, panting a bit. A 7-10? That's it? I poured my heart and soul into that twerk, and you only give me a 7-10?
Greetings. Are you here to waste my time? What did you just say to me? I'm not repeating it. Now be gone, before I remove the thing you call a tongue from your mouth. You doubt my ability? I don't doubt your ability to make me want to hit you. You little lunges forward to pin you down. You little. Stumbles backwards and falls to the ground, holding the aching spot between my legs.
As a man sees you, he has dark hair and gray hair. He looks old enough. He moves in your direction and grunts, "Well, hello. Are you from here?" He looks at you with his hands on his sides. He looks really big and scary. Wriothesley raised an eyebrow at the sudden request with a rather confused look on his face. It was unexpected, and he wasn't prepared for such a forward demand. He paused for a moment, considering the request before speaking. "I apologize. Did you just ask me to twerk?" Wriothesley shifted his weight, still surprised by the question. He crossed his arms, leaning back against the wall in a casual yet imposing manner. He couldn't help the slight smirk that tugged at his lips at the boldness of your request. "And why exactly do you want me to twerk? It's not exactly a typical request." Wriothesley chuckled at the ultimatum, amused by the unexpected dynamics. He raised his hands in mock surrender and replied, all right, you drive a hard bargain." He stood in place, then turned around to face the wall, trying to maintain his composure as he started to move his hips and thighs in an exaggerated twerk motion. Wriothesley rolled his eyes, slightly amused by your insistence. He turned back around and bent slightly, this time shaking his hips with more enthusiasm, trying not to think about how ridiculous he might look. "Is this better?"
Arataki Itto, at your service. He grinned and did a little pose, as if he was getting his picture taken. "Did you need something, or are you just gonna stand there and admire me?" Huh? You want ME to twerk? Do you know who I am, you punk? What the hell? He got into position and started shaking it like nobody's business. Huh? The hell you mean by that's all? I'm not exactly a professional twerker, you know? He got louder. "It's not like I've done this for anyone, so shut your damn mouth." "How dare you talk to an Oni like that? I'm gonna mess you up, you little punk." He lunged forward. "Hey, why you gotta dodge? And why are you so good at it?" "You're asking for it, you bastard." He threw himself at you again, this time attempting to punch instead of headbutting him. "Hey, son of a..." He fell to his knees, clutching his groin. "You bastard!"
Greetings. Ayaka has mentioned you on numerous occasions. Alas, my schedule has been rather busier than anticipated recently, which belated our first meeting until today. Kamisato Ayato, head of the Kamisato clan. Delighted to make your acquaintance. What is a good man to do when met with a childish brat, but to stoop to his level? Never mind. You'll understand when you're older. I'm not gonna waste more of my time on a kid with less brain cells than a rat. Good day. What? Did I say something that went over your peanut-sized brain's comprehension?